Alright, well we're back at this again, and we got the shift selector and everything's together on the trans. We addressed some of the other issues, which I'll go over that stuff and kind of group it together. All the brackets now are on the lower part of the transmission. Everything's on there. We pulled off a bunch of different things. Here's the intake. You can see this was cracked and it just pops right off. So JB Weld does not work to hold this together. And we ended up getting another intake, which I'm sure you're going to be happy to see what the color of that thing is. So anyway, the core support here, you can kind of see that in the photo or the video here. I'm going to get back in here. I'll show you guys what that looked like. We pulled the other charge pipes and stuff off because they were just, so just in bad shape is the easiest way to say it. We got a bunch of wiring and stuff too that we're going to be fixing up right in here. Fix these crimp connectors. Fix these crimp connectors. You can look down through here. That lower core support right there is supposed to be straight. So, I mean, that's fixable, we'll have to tap it around here and get it where it needs to be. I figure, let me pull this tape back. It's always a good idea to cover this stuff, but it's definitely, the cylinder head's definitely got a nice port and polish job. Quite large. So we got that. Like I said, we're in here, we're addressing some stuff today. We're going to get everything done here on the front end. Core support straightened out. Going to be replacing the harness here. Where's it at here? I don't know what's going on here. Tape, some kind of repair. This stuff here is pulled apart, I guess, so they could try to tuck it down underneath, even though it does have these extenders on for the different different fuel injectors. We're going to coat this, get that good, so we know we don't have any problems with that. And hopefully get this thing together here real soon. But here, check this out. This is the intake we got to go on here. How's that look? Help spice it up a little bit. Go with the blue. Alright, well, we'll show you what this thing looks like once we get done beating this around with a hammer for a little bit. Try to get some of this mess straightened out so it actually supports the radiator right. The hood will line up nice, actually be held down correctly and supported, and back together and looking good. Alright, well, been at this now a couple hours. It's now after lunch, but what we ended up doing was the oil leak that was down here. We pulled the pan off. We confirmed that it is strapped. It does have rods in it. There's no windage tray. But we were leaking here at the joint, the seam where the oil pump was. I mean, that's just something that could happen. You know what I mean? From when it was assembled, assuming that that's where all that oil was coming out. New gasket on this. Everything's sealed up across here. We got our bracket back in, our AC units back in. I did clean up some of the oil that was over here. Still need to take care of this right here because there's no bushing. Right now we do the new brakes that we ordered finally showed up, so we're working on getting those installed. I did fix up a bunch of this wiring right here. Did some of that. Got this here fixed up. These were both rewired in, so they're a little longer than what they need to be, but without having everything in here, I couldn't shorten them down, so if I have to, I'll just like zip tie them up. It won't be too bad. I still have to fix some of this stuff here, as you can see. I mean, it just on and on and on. We pulled, this had tape on it here. I pulled it apart. These were actually cut and then re-seamed together. I don't have any idea why, who knows. We got a heat shield here to install over the alternator. That way it has one of those, since it doesn't have one. I do have I'm a firm believer of putting one of these on over, regardless if you have gears or not. because you definitely don't want anything getting down into there. We still have to figure out what we're going to do with this fuel line here yet. We'll have to shorten that down once we get everything back in here. Here you go, look. I don't know if you can really tell. We got the core support straightened out. Maybe you can look down here. I mean, this thing was pretty bad down here. So, it's straight enough. This is pulled down now. Everything's connected. I mean, unless you want to replace that, which, I mean, it could possibly end up getting done in the future. Wouldn't be a bad idea either. This right here was all pushed back. It had a big bend here. Was pushed out probably about that far, shoved back. So that's all back out. Like I said, it's fairly straight. You know, it's pretty nice now. We are getting the brakes on. This thing is slowly coming together. Like I said, I mean, there's just every time you turn around and you look, you find something. Like I said, this was why this. So you know, I mean, it's soldered and crimped back together. It's got heat shrink on it, so it's a good sealed fix. This right here, you can see it's shiny. There was like a wire exposed there, so I fixed that. Like I said, this bracket's in here now, so the power steering line's bolted up. It was missing a bolt out of the power steering pump. We got that installed. You know, it's just every time trying to get everything taken care of while we're down in here. Right now I'm working on getting this area here cleaned up. I'm going to probably check these here. I'll probably rewrap these with tape here. Just, you know, I'm in here. It's accessible, so we're going to try to make this nice. I can pull the computer off, wipe down the bracket. I think it's bent a little bit on the bottom from being against the core support. I did swap out the wire mess here. This is actually, you can tell the battery harness, this is an 05, because when we went to 05 they did the replaceable ends later for 05, so I had a nicer harness. We took out, nope, it's not that one. Where's that? It's here somewhere, and it's a mess. So I took the other one out. It had tape, blue tape wrapped all around it. Here's the old pan gasket, like right in here. This is where the seam is. That's where it was leaking. You can see it was running out through. I tried to put some black silicone there the other day, and we ran it just a little bit just to see, and it had more oil just coming out of there. So figured we'd take care of that. Man, just replacing everything, getting everything fixed up. Little piece here, little piece there. More and more parts. Just kind of endless. You know, we got wiper blades and, you know, a couple other aftermarket doodads to go in here that we had sitting. So now we got to get the radiator back in here, and then we can get the intake on. The intake's completely assembled with the injectors. Cleaned up the throttle body. You know, got everything in here. It's all ready to go with the extensions. So this thing's really going to look good. Oh my goodness. This is what we got for now. We are planning to change this out, fix up some of this other stuff. I did look into seeing about moving this and shortening out the fuel line, but with the hood exit here, I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's not what we're going for. So he's going to have that changed, and then we can get everything routed differently. We still need to put a washer bottle on it, but I mean, everything is now back in here together. The wiring's fixed up. We actually got the brakes are on. Stainless steel lines are on all four corners. The wheels that were on here had undersized tires on, so we have some good tires put on these here now. Man, they look good and meaty on there. Whole lot nicer than the other ones. They were like skinnier and not as tall. I think they were like a 215/40, and these are more of a sticky tire. Help get some traction on something that's making this kind of power. But yeah, we still got, you know, some wiring. This here we're going to fix up. Actually, tomorrow we're planning to tear into the inside, replace the heater core that's actually leaking, make sure all the gauges are installed correctly. There's a vacuum leak in there behind the dash we're going to fix. We're probably going to replace the radio bezel because it's cracked. You know, just go over everything, fix the center console. We got the headlights to install that we got, so they need installed. So I mean, there's still plenty more here to do. Slowly fixing everything up, one wire at a time, one nut, one bolt. But it's coming together. He's got a second one of we've got another thermostat housing we're going to send out, get powder coated, probably over the winter. So we're making a list of more stuff that's going to need to be done to this car. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely coming along, man. It looks great. Definitely looks great, especially with these tires. I mean, it's not even on the ground yet, and it just makes it look so much better. All right. Till tomorrow, it'll be a little bit more. We had a long day. We had everything apart. So hopefully tomorrow we can get this thing on the ground. We've got to get the intercooler and everything mounted. You know, hopefully all that stuff goes on good. It's just, you know, and then what? Remodifying the hot side pipe. Getting that on right, because that wasn't hanging correctly. And, you know, just get that figured out. We got a heat shield on order for the turbo. So that'll be here probably within the next week, hopefully, and go from there. So, alright, till the next update.